Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for giving me a voice. I will today talk about the hydrogen production reactor, packed bed biofilm reactor for processing paper mill waste. By dark fermentation, the work is based on article published in Fuel in April 2023 at volume 338 by Professor Hadizek Tondro from Tehran University. And there's work as concept of using waste because according to Iranian plan to 2015, most energy will be used from photovoltaics and wind. There is some atomic plants, nuclear plants, and some only would be prevented by conversion because mostly by bioproduction and like fermentation as method for utilization of waste most. And one attempt is here is to produce this paper mill, which is much waste. Its paper is waste containing much cellulose, but mostly cellulose, some paints from some paints which will be inhibiting. So the process is to remove mostly this paint, this ink which was in paper, and use or reduce to some detail such that can be feasible for bacteria. The hydrogen would be good recovery, and idea is use packed bed. Packed bed is a reactor which continuous flow, which as ne is some packing, which some shelves on the sides, and these shelves, in case of bacteria bioreactor, are bacteria with some additionally obtained with adding some nutrients usually, and the feed is flowing through, usually upward, through every bed, causing that through the substrate will be surrounding the bacteria, this bed. Therefore, the high reaction area would be obtained, and this allows to obtain higher high absorption and thus of substrate by bacteria, and thus higher conversion rate. And in this case, in case of inorganic, this packing cloths also are usually porous material. Porosity is obtained, and here by porosity is making such case some additional material. But in case of bacteria, we don't have pores or not, is not used. But in case is bad and going this allowed to how flowing and continues. The bacteria would be treated by heat in 121. The pH would be 6, and the thermophilic bacteria 37. So in case of Iranian wouldn't be is enough use the reactor was placed in North Iran, in near the Azerbaijan source was soluble in water between 75 to 225 meters per kilogram, so quite much. Sometimes was with wastewater added, and this sparking is good for simple sugar, and this was used for checking. The paper was in yeast mill. The paper was milled to 1 millimeters and then bacteria. But however, is dark fermentation, the scientists choose using pH not neutral. Reactor performance stays 7 days by stable, and then was trouble to obtain. The reach was in and at 908 milliliters and was 9 state. After this was necessary to replace the bacterial layer, and it was used. The reaction uh, was used. The paper was firstly hydrolyzed by sulfuric acid. So this meaning water and using much water, so would be not water saving process, which is my big trouble. The idea shows that the different retention time of this effluent was for 24 to 1 2 hours. 24 1 day to 1 to 2 hours. The highest was retention time 2 hours. 6 to 21 liters per 1 liter of waste, and the least was to 24 hours. So here see that is somehow uh, between 1 hour and two is the growth, then it is relatively decreasing, and cut removal was reduced was up to produce was concentration was just 41% because it was neutral. I think that this should be higher if with no pH, but keeping low pH requires some acid which is quite dangerous, quite not mainly dangerous, but however it was still is quite corrosive bacteria, and this is the trouble. And thus was decreased. The cut removal was uh, in case of 24 hours just 6%. So high time. However, the 25% was just obtained in 8 hours, not 2 hours. So the optimal to reduce paper was between 2 4 8, but still is required much. Therefore, we need improvement. All checking the paper into other soluble, into other hydrolytes were better, less water containing. Maybe some needed the time. We can use there some fungi, maybe some temperature, maybe, but still require temperature. So between water and temperature, and this is the trouble. Paper is very hard to remove because they mostly require or not maybe much water, or it's highly soluble, or highly acid, which is corrosive material. So we need to overcome this. But this is a good attempt. However, this pH 7 is not very good idea. So they should find method to low pH keep some special material of reactor, maybe titanium would be obtained. Our titanium has good connection now with Russia, so Titan is not trouble for them. So maybe titanium reactor would be fine. So thank you very much for listening to me. I think these are fine. I hope that you can remind about writing an article to chemical chemistry education in Royal Society journal. I have time. I will think that up to 9th of August, some resume and will publish this this uh, this common hour lecture short in chemistry education to show our lecture classing in published material, which allows us to get better, for example, function like that, and then some document of that, and I think would be very good idea. Here is my email, so send up to 9th of August. I sent to Professor Akram detailed some initial stage. So I think that Professor Akram can share these notes, and we can this application. So thank you very much.